I think, like I said the other day, it's a Case IH 2366. So yeah, it's a little bit bigger than our 1680 that is no more. I was going to show you what goes on inside a combine, at least inside a Case IH combine. There are combine, I think, well, most combines now have a rotor in them, but used to, some of them, a couple of them didn't. So first we're going to start up at the front here. These are homemade snoots, because the other ones had seen very, very much better days. Anyway, so looks like the reel is set down a little bit, but this reel spins round and around like this, forward like that. This head has also seen better days too. So the reel spins around like this, and then the sickle bar right here is slicing back and forth like this really quickly. Actually, down here is the wobble box. Right here's the wobble box. It goes like this inside of there, and it makes the sickle bar go back and forth. And then once it cuts it, the reel just keeps it from falling forward, and push it, kind of like helps it push it back up in there. And then obviously the auger's bringing it towards the middle, and then to the feeder house, and then those fingers are spinning around and picking up the grain and taking it and pushing it into the feeder house. This is a Case IH 1020 header. It's 25 foot long, wide, long, whatever. And then this in there, right there, oh shoot, is the feeder house. That bar going across, there's a bunch of them in there. Sorry, I'm stuttering. You spin around and just basically bring the grain up in here to the rotor, which is, that must not work. This is the front of the rotor right here. The rotor is just a round spinning thing. No, yeah, you'll see it. This is the reverser. This is the reverser right here, the feeder house reverser in case it gets plugged up. The rock traps under there. And nothing too special right here. I'll open these shields up and then we can see the rotor here. This one's too hard to open. Here, I'll just open it real quick. Alrighty, so in here is the rotor. This is the rotor in there, that metal thing in between the bars there. If you can see right there's one right there, shiny piece right here. That is that's a little knob on the rotor. There's a bunch of them on there. It just takes the grain and just like all over these concaves. This is the concave right here with these bars. It rubs it, just shatters it breaks the pod open or the head, and the seed will fall through these bars down here into these augers, which take it back to the sieves, which you'll see here in a minute. And then and some chaff that, oh, there's a corn cob. The chaff that it breaks up as well, it'll fall down here, like right here. This is an example of what it looks like in there. There's a bunch of chaff, and there might be some seeds in there. Not quite sure. Anyway, yeah, there's some seeds in there, if you can see right here. Some seeds in there. And then those augers, take a light. Those augers take it all the way back here. Oh, sorry, the camera's facing the wrong way. All the way along there, into here. Turn the light on. In here, you can see the augers up in there. Right there is an auger. In here is the sieves. Or these things right here. That's the sieves. Top sieve. It is basically like a sand sifter, if you want to think about it like that. It's shaking back and forth like this, sifting the grain down through. And this is the primary sieve that sorts out like the chaff, most of the chaff and stuff. And then obviously it comes out here and falls on the ground. And then if you can see, somewhere down in there, right there, in between these two, right there is the bottom sieve. The bottom sieve is more of a finer. It's gonna sort out the grain even more carefully, and send it up to the grain tank. But right there is the chopper. The stuff that comes out of the top of the rotor. I don't know if you can see up there. There's like a little the end of the rotor up there. The stuff that doesn't go through the concaves comes up here to the chopper. And there's knives also down there where all that wheat is, or all that straw is stuck. And the chopper chops it. The chopper's in low gear right now because we don't want it chopping up our nice straw. And it chops it, and the chopper is spinning forward and flings it up here. It hits this and falls down. And normally there is spinners, 2 spinners rotating opposite directions, right here and right here. That spin and spread out the corn cobs or the beans or the wheat straw if you don't want wheat straw. If you don't want to bale your wheat straw. So and then right here is the elevators. This is the return elevator, and this is the clean grain elevator. So obviously what goes off the top sieve comes out the back right there. What goes off the top of the bottom sieve, and whatever falls through, whatever goes off the top of the bottom sieve is dirty still, so it's gonna go into the return elevator. The return elevator goes up here, up in here, and right here actually, and dumps back into the top of the rotor to be cycled through again, just so it gets cleaner. And then this is the clean grain elevator. Whatever falls through the bottom of the bottom sieve, whatever falls through it is the cleanest, and it goes into this auger right there and into this elevator that goes all the way up there to the top, into the tank. This is the fan right here. Right here's the fan. If you can see, well, maybe not. It spins. This is the belt that drives it. It spins, and it blows up through the bottom of the sieve, up through there. It blows up through there and like blows out. It's supposed to blow out. What does? It blows out all the little tiny chaff pieces and stuff like that. It just cleans up the grain. So it just blows up through the bottom of the sieves and it blows out the back there. And now I'll take you to the top and I'll show you the grain tank. This is the grain tank. That right there is the top of the clean grain elevator. You can see it kind of goes down underneath there. And it dumps into this auger right there, which augers it into the grain tank here. This is the full sensor. That's just how it's supposed to start beeping when it gets full. And this is some wheat that obviously isn't getting going down there. This is the cross augers in the grain tank underneath those shields. This is what takes the grain over here. It takes the grain like this over to, climb down one, over to here, down there, and then it goes into this auger that goes up, and then it comes up here, and then goes into this auger, which is out, which is going to be swung out like out here. It goes out, and then it goes out this auger into the wagon or semi or grain truck, whatever you're using. So yeah, that's the gist of the combine. I'm gonna show you where the operator sits in here. This is it's better than the 1680, or it's nicer than the 1680. It's also not as good as an AF11. So this is your control panel, park brake, obviously. This is your concave adjustment here. This is your fan speed, rabbit and turtle. Your rotor speed. This is your separator on switch. You just flip that up. This is your header or your feeder house on switch. You also flip that up, or if you're in reverse, you just pull it back, lift up and pull back. There's a couple sensitivity knobs. This is your reel speed. We have it on manual right now, and this is how you adjust the manual speed. This is the bottom switch is the corn reel, which we don't use. And then the top switch is the automatic. It tracks your speed, how fast you're going, and stuff like that. And then the control joystick hydrostat here. This is the auger, in and out. This switch right here, this is in. You can put it out and then stop it right there. This is the header up and down right here, and I'm not sure what this. I think it's supposed to tip it forward. This is the reel up and down, and forward and back. And then this is the auger on and off switch. So 1680, the auger out used to be right here, and then your auger on would be a lever down here. You go, and then when you put it down, it goes. But now it's all. This is the era when guys started to get grain carts, and you didn't want to be reaching up here, reaching down here, up and around, trying to follow your corn row. This is, so Case IH moved it to the joystick here, which is pretty nice, I'd say. And then this is your gear selection. I believe we run in 2, and then road gear is 3. And then this is like your fuel stuff over here. This is your notification center, like it shows how fast your rotor's going, and your fan, and how close your concaves are, and stuff like that. And then this is your grain loss monitor, or grain scan monitor, I believe, is what it's called. I don't really know what it's supposed to do. There's 4 lights here that blink whenever you lose grain. I don't know. It doesn't really matter or anything. Oh, it's not even on. Oh well, doesn't need to be on. Yeah, that's and then up here is the lights, radio, AC, and everything. So, and then this is what everybody says, your grain sample. You can look in there, see what your grain looks like. It's the dirtiest grain is always up against the window, so it's not very accurate. So, it's accurate, but like there's probably cleaner grain somewhere else in that tank. So, yeah, that's pretty much a combine. Not much to it. I mean, it's a lot of complex moving parts to it. But other than that, it's pretty easy to run. I like running it. Alrighty, well, I'll go back to the barn, and we will unload that straw. We got that 140 bales unloaded. It's up in there, all nice and tucked away for the winter time. I'm climbing down the old classic elevator actually. So I'm gonna climb down. There's a couple broken bales. I'm gonna throw into Beth's pen, the little calf that's down here. So I'll throw them into her pen. I think that was one, and there's a couple. No, there's just some straw in there. So yeah, Mom and Dad just went to get the other half of the wagon. So be a couple minutes. The whole fun of putting straw in the hay mow is choosing where you want to be. You want to be on the wagon in the breeze, but you're in the sun, or do you want to be in the barn with no breeze and the shade? You're still sweating the same amount either way. It's just weird to choose. So, alrighty, well, I'll get that around while they go get that other wagon. We'll see after a bit. So it's now nighttime, as you can see out. Dad and I went over and put some hay in for the cows and the steers, and also put a little bit more feed in the bin that we had left over from the other week. So like I said earlier, I hope we get to cut some wheat tomorrow. The weather is supposed to be nice for tomorrow. It should dry out pretty quickly. So that's about all I have for today. I guess I'll see you all tomorrow. Hey, what's he doing? He's mowing corn down. I'm just kidding. He's mowing it down so we can bale it and wet wrap it, and then the guy is gonna come put a pasture in, I believe. If this is the outline for the pasture. So everything's under control here. So we're back here at the wheat field. The combine is sitting out there because Dad has cut at least 2 samples this afternoon, and he just didn't want to drive all the way back along the windrow and risk smashing it. So, and then the bean planter's out there because we found out the other day that a couple of the rows on the 6th row weren't planting, so Dad just came out and replanted a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna do a hand sample here and see how wet this seed is. It's still a little smooshy with my Invisalign in. It may not go today like I hoped it would. It's still a little smooshy. Oh well. But I think it's supposed to rain tonight, maybe tomorrow, maybe not. It may not. It said the weather on the radio said isolated storms. So what do we got here? Looks like he just put beans in a couple of these row units, so he could space them out a little bit like he wanted. Anyway, enough chatter. Hopefully Dad will get back here. He took the mower back up to Uncle Greg's. It's a nice truck. That's also a nice truck. That truck looks familiar. But Dad went up to put the mower away, and he's just about here, I think, so.
It worked out good for me. Oh, yeah.
guys on a time lapse so you can see me do that. Grain Company Incorporated. And 15.6, I believe, no more. Alright, now let's get back to the field. There's probably another load waiting for us. Well, we're back. I passed down on the way to the elevator. He was on the way to the elevator. I was on my way back. So I'm going to hop up here and run at least around until he gets back. The line was, there was zero line, as you could tell. That is not the case at the end of October. At the end of October, there is trucks lined down to the next intersection, which is a little under a mile long, or a mile down there. So start this puppy up and let's go cut some wheat. There we go. Alrighty. Throttle up a little bit. I'll prop you up right there on the armrest so you can watch me do my thing here. Go. So this is kind of cool for you guys. This is the start of what makes your bread. This is, well, it's not the very start. We seeded it last fall, but this is the, yeah, well, this is the start of how your bread gets made. So yeah, and it's kind of cool also now that you know how a combine works. What's going on inside underneath me. Underneath me is the rotor right now. My dad is no stranger to cutting wheat. When he was west. They went to a couple places in each state. They went to Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, and North Dakota. But they had three 2388s and one 7250 Magnum with a grain cart that they harvested with. And my dad and Eric had obviously 2388, but they had a 30-foot platform header, which is what I'm running right now. Had an auger in it. But then their other combine that they had was one of the first, but not very many people had them. Draper heads with a belt. Yeah, nobody out there knew what that was. I think so. Yeah, what Dad and Eric were running were 30-foot platform headers, and then the Draper was a 36-foot. Draper. I don't think it was a flex Draper. I think it was just a rigid Draper. But so yeah, they went out west there and did that. But like nobody around here in Indiana knew what a Draper was. Maybe a couple people out west there knew what one was, just because their fields are so big. But yeah, that's some facts for you. So yeah, he's no stranger to this. Also, another fact was my dad had a phone and he took it with him, but there was no service in those states, so he shipped it back for my Uncle Dan to use while he was gone. So that was before there was cell phone service everywhere on God's flat earth. So you couldn't hear me at the elevator. There was a 58.2 pound test weight, which is actually very good. And the moisture was 15.6, I think, is what the ticket said. So it's doing pretty good. All right, I'll keep going until Dad shows back up, which he shouldn't be. Which should be for too long. There was, yeah, like I said earlier, there was not a line at all at and he's just raking. He's raking some of the stuff he spread. He's raking that together, so it'll also get baled. The reason we're windrowing all this, the neighbor is gonna come big square it and bale this hopefully tomorrow. So that's we don't need any more straw. We're probably gonna keep a couple bales out of that, but yeah, we're gonna sell. Dad's gonna sell, or he has sold all the rest of the big squares that we're not gonna use. So I just have this pass here and then another partial pass on there, so and then we'll be done. Well, we're back here now. I got the lucky task of blowing the combine off, which is fine. So I'll set you guys up on a time lapse, and you can watch me do the boring job of blowing it out. And I think I'll be mostly upwind. I think there's not too much of a wind, so alrighty, here we go. Y'all ready? This is the classic Case IH combine ladder takedown here. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Usually there's more dust than that. Oh well, I'm happy with that. Alright, I'll keep going here. Got it all blown off, or for now. I'm gonna climb up here and back out here and run everything just so it gets all nice and cleaned up. So we'll go out here and do that. I'm gonna be itchy for a little while. I got dust all over me. Alrighty, we got the combine running now. We're gonna just back over here out of the way, not hit anything, and run everything out. So alrighty. Alright, let's put the auger out and run it. Well, it's been quite an eventful day, last couple of days, with wheat harvest. We're done now. Put the combine away. So, yeah, all the beans are planted where my Uncle Greg was cutting the other day. Lane, I think, my cousin Lane planted those. I think that they're planted. Anyway. So, yeah, I'm gonna go and take a shower because I have straw dust all over me. It's not as bad as bean dust. Bean dust is awful. but it's still pretty bad. So, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Here, I'm gonna have to set you down because I cut my finger earlier. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, we'll be out.